Hi, everybody. Really excited today to tell you about Controller. Not only tell you about it, but also show you a live demo. So hopefully the demo gods are favorable today. It's all over Wi-Fi, so let's see. So if you look at the agenda, first I want to talk about the vision for Controller. Then we'll jump into the problem statement. Essentially, what problems did we hear you all needed to solve? That's what we're trying to set out within the solution to those problems. Jump into the demo, and then we'll talk a little bit about the future. Hopefully that sounds good. So Controller vision, as you heard yesterday from Sydney, if you think about your app as a living organism, Controller is essentially the head. It's a centralized management and control plane for the rest of the body. Much like an organism, it's flexible and agile. It has use case-centric quick starts, easy integration with your existing environment. It's also resilient and efficient. It's highly available. It includes best-in-practice configuration, time-saving analytics and workflows, tight alerting integrations. It's also intelligent and distributed, with the curated reporting and analytics, rich configuration analysis, and it's deployable anywhere. So problem statements. We saw a few needs that were unmet. We kept hearing things from you all, things like some people needed help analyzing and monitoring their NGINX environment and their applications. I had a large financial services company tell me they wanted to see historical trending of NGINX metrics to validate that their application is working as expected. I heard from another company saying they needed help adopting NGINX, or they wanted to provide NGINX to other people, other teams within the organizations. Marketing service company told us, our guys need point and click. NGINX is the only cloud-based tool out there, and now that our expert left, we're stuck. We also heard that NGINX users want to save time when they have large deployments. We had a large federal customer tell us recently, I want to be able to make changes once, then push them everywhere across my environment. And even experienced NGINX users were asking for help. We had a media company tell us, I've gathered a lot of configuration cruft over the years, but I'm not sure how to get to NGINX best practices. What can I remove? What do I need to add? So essentially, we saw that people want to make their apps better. They want easy configuration with a minimal amount of NGINX-specific learning required, and they want to save time. Show of hands, does this resonate with any of you all? Hopefully. Good to see. So now we'll talk about how do we solve that with Controller. So how do we help you make your apps better? We have rich analytics and monitoring. We use NGINX Amplify as a foundation. It's production tested at scale, battle hardened. Over the last 3 years, we've ingested over 1 trillion pieces of telemetry from over 18,000 accounts. You can also view historical trends for 200 metrics, both application level and system level. You have customizable dashboards, and you can export those metrics over API. It also includes configuration analyzer. So it uses years of experience with PS, support, engineering, where we've seen all the environments out there, the configs, and we know the best way to improve your existing configuration. And it also helps you visualize your security exposure. I have a little screen snippet here where I was showing this to a large hospitality company recently, and I got a round of applause during a demo. And I can't tell you, as a PM, that doesn't, barely ever happens, but they're having a problem with SSL certs expiring. And I just said, with Controller, you can see which SSL certs are about to expire, which ones have expired, and they're ecstatic. So even things like that can really help you all see what's going on in your environment and then help you address them. It's easy, and I can show you the easy in the demo, but I want to talk about it a little bit here first, too. It's just 5 simple steps to create a new load balancer. Once you have a new load balancer, it's easy to make changes. All the new configuration defaults to NGINX best practice to make sure you get the most out of your investment. And it shows you when things are not best practice to help you assist with getting the most out of your environment. It's also a point-and-click GUI interface. Saves time. Again, you don't have to learn as much about NGINX since we just default very intelligently. You can perform an operation once and then send it out your entire environment or a subset of your environment using tags. And I'll show you how tags are embedded throughout the product. Here's a screen snippet here showing where you can copy a configuration and then send it to multiple instances. That's an upcoming release 1.1. You can monitor across your entire environment or, again, a subset via tags. And it's very quick to integrate into your existing environment. So it's an agent-based approach. It's just a few commands, and you can quickly deploy it in any VM, container, bare metal, whatever you'd like. The metrics, again, are very easy to send to any tools you might have over there over the API. And now let's jump into the quick demo. Hopefully this all works out OK. Okay, thank you, Liam. So this is the production release 1.01. This is hosted in AWS right now. This is a live demo over the Wi-Fi, so hopefully the Wi-Fi doesn't cause any problems. I'd like to start with the overview page. I think the most interesting thing here is the application health score in green. This is a compound metric, almost like an APM Lite type approach, where it's a combination of successful requests, the request time, and agent availability. And then we have the 5 metrics we heard was most important to you. So total requests, 5xx errors, request time, traffic, and CPU use. Now you can see that the application health score is not exactly 100%. 99.9, that's not bad. I can see there's 4 million total requests, but there's 1,000 5xx errors. Wonder what's going on here. I can click the gear. By default, it's monitoring my whole environment, but I can now look at just my production level environment, 100%. Okay, that's good. And I know those guys over playing with the billing app, they've got some crazy Canary deployment. I think they're making some experimental changes. Okay, it looks like it's in the Canary part of the deployment. I can see the errors here. Now, we have many more metrics. First, before I go here, let's see when they started. You can look at 1 hour, 4 hour. You can see just over a day ago those errors started. Let's look at the 2-day view. Yeah, just about a day ago. Now, if I go to the graphs page, you can see all my instances are over here on the left, suggestively named. Now, I can filter by tag again. Let's just filter on that Canary tag. We can see the billing app and the Canary. We have both system-level metrics, so things like CPU, disk, memory, and then we have the NGINX-specific metrics that are more of an application-level point of view. Now, you can see we've got some HTTP errors that are kind of coming and going here. So let's just take those. We can copy those to an existing dashboard. Okay. Let me just look at the dashboard here. Let me just refresh. Sorry, let me just do a refresh on the Podium computer here. Okay. Start again with the Canary. I was making some changes backstage, so I don't think they got propagated out here. Okay, let's copy this to the existing dashboard. All right. Sorry about that. So we have the existing dashboard. I already had a dashboard for US West load balancer 1. I was looking at requests and connections, but you can see I was able to copy those HTTP errors over to this dashboard. It's not really a great fit, but I just wanted to show you that you can have an existing dashboard that you can copy elements to it. Let's just create a new dashboard fresh so I can show you that. Since we're talking about HTTP errors, let's call it billing app errors, Canary errors. Now we can start with a new set, a new graph, or a new value, and I'll show you what each one of those are. New set, we intelligently gathered up those metrics I told you about, those 200 metrics. We said, okay, some of these will be very interesting to people. So some people will be interested in connections and requests. So we have a set of metrics against that. Other people will be interested in NGINX performance metrics. You might be interested in HTTP response codes, like in this demo. Then there's also system-level metrics that we've collected together and grouped. So let's just pick the response codes, since that's what we're talking about here. You can see my billing Canary deployment instance here. Hit create. Now you can see we've got 4xx errors, 5xx, and 499s. So that's creating the new dashboard. Now let's add a new graph. And you can see this is where all the metrics come in here. Hopefully you're impressed by all the scrolling I'm doing here. There's a lot of metrics you can pick from. Let's pick 403, because I know those billing guys that have told me the 403s are important to them also. Now here you can see I can not only attach it to an instance, but also to a tag. So I don't really want to, let's just do the billing Canary for now. Now you can see it's down here. I can bring it up here. No 403 errors, that's good. Now I can save this dashboard, and now it's referenceable anytime in the future, and you can go and make changes. Before we forget, let's go to make an alert. You can see I have an existing one here for connections dropped across my production environment. Let's make a new one and say, those 5xx errors, if it's above 0, and if it's on that billing Canary, send Greg an email. I know that guy's responsible for the billing app. sending me an email so I can help them keep an eye on it. Now, those will email us with the alerts, and the alerts will also show up here in the alert box. So that's great. Helps you monitor what's going on. You'll see the alarm clear once it comes back down. And I'll take the opportunity now to then go back to, kind of skipped over some of the tagging. Let's just clear my filter here and look down at those other billing instances. You can see I've got a production billing app, a nightly. Now we can come in here and add tags. Let's add a new one, say billing app. Okay. Now let's add that same billing app tag that I just made to this guy. Same thing to the canary. So you can have multiple tags. You see this one has canary. It can also have billing app. It can also have AWS, whatever makes sense to you. So now we have these three that are all tagged with billing app. So I can group them together and start looking at them from a configuration point of view. In the dashboards, I can now come over here and say, I know I saw them only in the canary deployment, but let's make sure we don't see those errors anywhere in the billing app. In the nightlies or in the production also. Let's just generalize the name. And then we can click on the thing here and say, instead of the instance, look across that tag. And you can sum or average across that tag. Same thing with all these other items. So now I'm not only getting metrics for canary, I'm getting across the billing tag. So this is very flexible, very powerful. And I just generalize the name. I can save it. Now I'm looking across the whole environment there. So let's just keep beating up on Greg and the billing app here. If you look at that canary one again, this is the analyzer I was telling you a little bit about before. If you look at static analysis, you can see there's a lot of errors in his config. I think I'm going to copy this and say, buddy, best practice is to configure a clear set of headers with proxy paths. Host header is always important. Give some suggestions. Now I can copy this off to him, say, this is how you get to best practice. There's a lot of suggestions here. We can help you make your app better. So that's the analyzer section. At least we can see again that there's no expired SSL certs. So good job, Greg. Briefly, we can jump into the configure tab as well. Let me just clear this out. Let's just pick on this load balancer. So I showed you a bit about the visualization, some of the monitoring, the tagging. I also want to show you the config management side of things. Let's do a new load balancer. Let's pretend this conference is, we're going to set up things for this conference. Now, I'm sure nobody's using 162.168.0.1, so I'm sure that's fine. Pool servers, what do I want to load balance into? Let's just pick a few here. I'll call it conf pool. What do I want to match against? Let's match against everything, so slash, and I'm done. 5 easy steps. I have a new load balancer, applying to everything, going to this set of upstreams. So really easy to get started with a new load balancer, but then it's also very easy to make changes. So you can see that it was 5 easy steps for a reason, because we made a lot of decisions for you. We tried to make it easy, tried to make things best practices. But if you determine something's better for your environment, all these elements are clickable. So you can come in and say, for my app, weighted round robin, thanks for picking that by default, but I actually want least connections by default. That's no problem. You can come in here and say, I actually want to make some custom error pages. I want to make some allow and deny rules. That's all OK, too. So it's very easy to get started. It's very easy to make changes. If you'd like, you can still look at the conf file. You can preview it. You can copy and paste to support if you like, or to other people on the team. No problem. And now this configuration is here waiting. And I can either revert it, or then I can push it. It'll send it down to the instance. It'll pick up the new configuration, and away you go. So hopefully that was very helpful, very impressive. Let's just switch back to the slides, and we'll talk about the future. What do you all think? Is that hot? It's hot, right? I think that's the hottest thing in Atlanta right now, myself, but maybe a little biased. I don't know. So 2.0 coming later this year. This will save even more time with the configuration-based approach. So you saw me before, I was looking at an instance-by-instance basis. With 2.0, we're looking at now you can set things from a policy point of view, and you say, OK, I like this policy, it's good. I can now apply it to different instances, see if those instances are in sync with that policy for compliance reasons. I can then diff off that version, look at the history, what's changed in the meantime. So we've heard that from a lot of you all, more configuration management. So we hear you, we're working on it. We're also adding ServiceNow integration for alarms. So you saw me set up some alarms there. We're also adding ServiceNow integration for those alarms. So further future, it's very easy to use. Hopefully you all saw that. Hopefully you agree. It'll be easier and easier over time. We're still improving the workflows. We're improving the analytics, adding things like more baselining, more anomaly detection, giving you a feedback cycle with insights, and helping you monitor and set SLAs. It's modular and use case centric. So what I demoed to you was the load balance specific module. That's up here in green. You heard yesterday that the ABI management is now available. That's also now in green. The availability is coming soon. And then service mesh and other modules will be coming in the future. Flexible in deployment, again, you can deploy it just about anywhere. You can get some icons there on the right if you want to set your imagination off of where you could put this. It's ecosystem friendly. So you saw the GUI-based approach I was doing there. We're looking at adding in the future an API for the config management and a CLI. The API is already there for export to Datadog or New Relic, whatever tools you might already have. And in the future, you can imagine driving this through a Puppet, Chef, Ansible through the config management API. So again, it's easy, powerful. It's available now. Try it, buy it. Thank you.